Hello, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. So last week on this channel, I uploaded my first ever reading vlog, and in that vlog I had originally filmed a bookshelf tour, but I had cut it out for time purposes. So today I thought we would remake that tour, and then I also have a book haul later on in this video. But one of the reasons I'm not using my vlog footage for this tour is because my bookshelf is always constantly changing. Because I keep my unread books separated from my read books, so when books from that unread shelf get read, they come to here and things have to get rearranged. With that, let's start the tour. Okay, so that is the end of the tour. So I'll probably do another one of these videos in the future because, like I said, my shelves are constantly changing. And I think it might be kind of fun to see, like, a visual progression of what my shelves look like from the beginning-ish of my channel to where it is later on. And with that, it's time to start the book haul portion of this video. So I have a pile of books sitting next to me, and to make this just easier to organize in my head, I'm going to be splitting it into two parts. And the first part we're gonna do is sequels to books I've read kind of recently on this channel. And the first of those sequels is Children of Vice and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. And this is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone. So if you don't know what Children of Blood and Bone is about, it's about a magical land where the king has killed all the magicians and has basically taken all the magic from the land. He also killed our main character Zaylee's mother. And one day Zaylee gets the opportunity to restore magic to the kingdom with the help of a rogue princess and also her brother, while they are also being hunted down by the prince. I recently read Children of Blood and Bone in my past reading vlog, and I had a really great time with it, so I definitely did have to hurry up and get the sequel, and I'm excited to see where it all goes. So I guess next we'll cover the other book that I read in that reading vlog, which was Truthwitch. So in this haul we have Windwitch and Bloodwitch by Susan Dennard. If you don't know what Truthwitch is about two witches. One is a truth witch, which means she can tell whether somebody's lying or telling the truth, and the other is a thread witch, which means she can see the ties that kind of bind everything together. The truth witch is a very rare type of witch, which means that if she was ever found out to be a truth witch, then she would be hunted down by the empires who are in the middle of war preparations. And basically these two girls just get swept up into that war. I had a really solid time with Truthwitch, and I'm really excited to see where the series is going, so I went and bought the rest of the ones to catch me up on that. And the next book is Shadow and Flame by Mindee Arnett. And this is a sequel to Onyx and Ivory. And Onyx and Ivory is about a girl named Kate. They call her Traitor Kate because her dad tried to assassinate the king. Kate is also a wilder, which means she can control animals. It is her magic that eventually leads her to seeing the Daydrakes, which aren't supposed to exist. They had just attacked this group of people, one being the prince that Kate used to know back when she lived in the royal palace. Their lives become entangled, and the story goes from there. So I'm a little hesitant going into this book. I read Onyx and Ivory while I was in the middle of a big reading slump, and I definitely think I could have had a better time with it than I did. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to be feeling about this one, but hopefully I like it. Okay, and the next book is The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell, which is the sequel to The Last Magician. And in The Last Magician, we follow Esta, who is a thief, and she lives in a modern-day New York, and all the magicians are forced to live in hiding by an organization called the Order. And one day, Esta is sent back to 1902 to retrieve this book and also some artifacts before the magician can take off with it and doom the world of magicians forever. So The Last Magician was a book I really loved reading. I had a very fun time with it. Looking back on the ending of that book, I'm not sure I'm super excited for this one. I'm not really sure if I love where the series is going, but maybe this will exceed my expectations. And this next book is a sequel to a book I read back in September that is Between Burning Worlds by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. And this is a sequel to Sky Without Stars. And Sky Without Stars is like a sci-fi fantasy retelling of Les Mis. This is another one of those sequels I'm not sure I'm too super excited for, but I definitely do just want to read it to get the series done. I did really have a good time in Sky Without Stars. Just a lot of drama involved in this series that really just sucked me in and made me keep reading. I do think I'm going to end up on the wrong side of a love triangle in here, which I'm definitely not looking forward to. Hopefully it happens in like the last 100 pages of the book so I can just get it done and just be mad later with nothing else left of this to read. And these next two are sequels to a book that I am reading currently, and those are The Winter's Crime and The Winter's Kiss by Marie Rutkowski, and these are the sequels to The Winter's Curse. And The Winter's Curse is a love story about two people, one who is very much within the political system, and then the other who doesn't really have anything at all. So those two fall in love, but they have to remain loyal to their own separate countries, and in order to do that, they're gonna have to betray each other. So The Winter's Curse is a book I'm going back and forth with whether I like it or not, but for the most part, I would say I am definitely very curious to see how they've spanned this out in the 3 books with what we're doing right now in that book. So yeah, these are here because of that. So the next part of the haul, they're either like book ones of the series that I haven't read yet, or there's some standalones in here, I think. The first book is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sara J. Maas. I don't know why, but one day I just woke up with a very strong urge to read this book. So here we are. And the next book is A Shadowbrand Burning, and this book is set in like a Victorian London era, I think. So this book basically just sounded really interesting to me. I really like the cover of this too, so that definitely helped, and hopefully I like it. Next is The Supervillain and Me by Danielle. So the main character, Abby, her brother is a superhero, and one day the upcoming supervillain in the city saves her from a mugging and shows her maybe he's not really as evil as everybody thinks he is. So this book is here because I thought it sounded like a really cute take on the superhero genre, which is a genre I do really like. I do typically end up in the villain side of the superhero genre a lot of the times. I'm just really curious to see what this book is, and if I like it, I definitely feel like I could go either way on it for sure. And the next book is The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin, and this is book 1 of the Broken Earth trilogy. I've been wanting to read this trilogy for a very long time. I've heard very good things about it, and this is one I'm definitely really looking forward to. The next book is The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is a book that I've tried to resist for a really long time. From what I know about it, it's like this historical fiction, fantasy, mystery type of setting. And honestly, this book would not be here if it wasn't for The Last Magician making me like that type of setting, because I wasn't sure I was going to. I typically do end up liking historical fiction, but I'm not the biggest fan of it a lot of the times. But at the same time, I do really feel like I'm really going to love this series, and I'm excited to just see what all the hype's about. My next book is Joker by Brian Azzarello. This is part of DC's Black Label, which to my understanding is just kind of like R-rated comic books. I read Harleen, which was a part of that label, which definitely gave me the confidence to make me want to go out and try some more from that. And out of that group, this was the one I picked to do next. And the last book of the haul, and possibly one of the ones I am most excited to read, is Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. So I mentioned before in this video that I do typically like the villain side of things more. and I've heard that this is one of the most anti-hero stories there is. I am very excited to read this, even though it's in the tiniest little paperback format that I've ever seen. I definitely might have to read this very soon, even though I probably shouldn't because I am pretty behind on my April TBR, I feel like. But we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so that is it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and answer the question here down below if you want. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!